Hello. I know this is a very different background than what you are used to. I don't even know what this video is going to be. I really don't even know. But we definitely need to catch up. So grab a drink and grab a snack. I'm currently sipping on some coffee. And let's catch up. Okay, I thought we could just get ready together while I yap. This brings me back to the old days. If you don't know, this used to be a vlog channel. They're technically still up if you want to go back in the archives and see what my life was like. Sorry, I'm just wetting my sponge. But anyway, I figured I would just pick up the camera and just vlog, because I think part of the reason why I haven't uploaded in a while is, well, one, I've been in a slump. We'll talk about that later. But also, I just, for some reason, the thought of like sitting down and filming like a formal video just really like overwhelmed and intimidated me. I figured if I did something more like informal, just chill, like we're just hanging out and catching up, no pressure, maybe that'll work for me. I don't know. If you're seeing this video, it clearly worked for me. I don't know, we'll see. Anyway, this video is gonna kind of be like a spring reset-ish, but also just like a catch-up vlog. We'll talk about some of the books I've been reading. We're going to talk about the reading slump, unfortunately. And yeah, we'll just see what else we get into. I think we're going to redo my TBR cards together. We're going to redo my TBR jar together. Maybe do some reading journal updates. Yeah, so very different video for my bookish content, but I really am a vlog girl at heart. I watch vlogs like all day, every day. I love a yapper. I'm a yapper. I love other yappers. It's just who I am. If you care what makeup products I'm using, I'm currently on an e.l.f. kick, in case you cannot tell. And I also already put foundation. It's my first time doing this, so I don't know how long it's gonna last, but I mixed my e.l.f. Camo CC cream with the e.l.f. Thirst Drops to kind of make like a tinted moisturizer situation. So we'll see how that goes. I was just gonna leave it like this, but I just love doing a get ready with me. I do. I didn't want to stop. So this is not from e.l.f. This is from Maybelline. This is the Sun-Kissed blush in, what shade are you? Uptown Glow. I just kind of dot it like on that area. I don't know why. I just kind of, you know, just like it says, I want to look sun-kissed. So, and then I put a little tiny bit on my nose. Okay, where do we start? Where do we start? I finished the month of March with Sunrise on the Reaping by Miss Suzanne Collins. And I fear it did put me into a slump. Yep. I kind of figured that was going to happen. I saw it happen to a lot of people, and I really shouldn't be surprised because I knew it was going to like emotionally destroy me, and it definitely did. And I haven't exactly been in the best mental headspace lately, so it probably wasn't the best time to read that book. But I really don't regret it. It was an amazing book. I'm so glad I read it. Seeing Haymitch's backstory is amazing. And one of my favorite tricks for getting out of a slump is rereading your favorite books. So because I was in a slump after Sunrise on the Reaping, I've been rereading the Hunger Games series. And honestly, I'm not mad about it. I got the new like paperback set from Barnes & Noble where it has like the pretty floral sprayed edges. I showed them in my last book haul video, so you guys should have seen it if you saw. You should have seen it if you saw. Yep, that's great, Paige. Okay. Anyway, so it's been nice to like annotate them because I didn't keep my old copies of Hunger Games from when I first read them. So it's been nice to like have new copies and annotate them. And I've also been listening to the audios because the audios were free on my Hoopla app with my library. So that's been nice to kind of tandem read them. Even though the audio for the first two books wasn't great, but you know, they were free. I'm not gonna complain. But I also really love the Hunger Games movies. So I feel like it's just making me want to rewatch the movies now. So that might be what I do this weekend, because I am already on Mockingjay. And Mockingjay definitely has like the most differences in my opinion between the book and the movie. Like, I'm sorry, where is Effie? I'm definitely getting off track here. So, the reading slump. Yeah, the month of April hasn't really been like a crazy reading month for me. Like I said, I've mostly been rereading Hunger Games. I've also been rereading the Twisted series. That was one of my goals for the year. So I have been enjoying rereading that, but I'm on Twisted Lies right now, which is the last book. And I think I like that better than Twisted Love now. I really do. I don't know if it's because I have reread Twisted Love before. So this is technically my third time, maybe even fourth time reading Twisted Love. So that maybe I'm just like not as, maybe I've like reread it too many times at this point. That's definitely possible. But upon my reread of Twisted Lies, I think it's my favorite. I did not reread Twisted Hate because I hate that book. So I did not read that one again. I just skipped that one. And the second book, Twisted Games, it was still good, but I definitely didn't like it as much the second time around for some reason. But you have to keep in mind, I'm in a slump. So that skews everything. It skews everything. So I've been on a big reread kick in the month of April. Not mad about it because that was technically one of my goals for the year. So I can't even be upset that I'm in a slump. You know what I mean? Because it did allow me to reread some old favorites. So certainly not complaining. But the reason why I haven't filmed a March wrap-up is because when I was in my slump, I wanted to film a wrap-up, but just like the thought of talking about books when I was in a slump was just like the furthest thing from my mind. I did have a book in March that had a higher rating than Sunrise on the Reaping, because Sunrise on the Reaping, while it was like a very incredible read and definitely like a monumental read, it wasn't a 6-star read. I don't know if I could explain why it wasn't, because I don't really understand it myself. But there's just this feeling I get when I read a 6-star. Like as soon as I finish it, I immediately want to reread it. That's usually a good indicator that it's a 6-star. I just felt like a special connection to the character, whatever the case may be. For some reason, even though Sunrise on the Reaping was really emotional, I do feel connected to Haymitch in a way. But at the same time, it didn't give me that feeling. I don't know. I guess you can call it the book hangover, right? That's definitely what I was feeling at the end of March. So that's why I didn't film a March wrap up. I might just like in this video highlight some of my favorite reads from March. That might be better than doing a dedicated video because I've already forgotten most of the books I've read in March. So it is what it is. Oh, I hate when it's a brand new bottle and the first spray is always, okay, there we go. This is the e.l.f. Stay All Night Microfine Setting Mist. We're gonna set the face. But yeah, how have you guys been doing? How are we all faring with our mental health this season? I'm definitely happy that it's spring. I'm definitely like a spring summer girl. I love the sunshine. So I have been enjoying that. It's definitely bringing me back to life. What books have you guys been reading? If you have any suggestions for books to get me out of a slump, leave them down below. Like I said, normally I use a reread to get me out of a slump, or I find like a bingeable series on Kindle Unlimited. I haven't really found one of those yet. I was trying to get into the Black Rose Auction series, and that one came out recently where it was like a bunch of authors got together to do a series, and it's been hit or miss. So that really wasn't the bingeable series that I thought it would be, especially because they're all like novella length, I'm pretty sure. Katie Robert was the first one. I loved her, so it gave me like really high expectations, I think. And the other ones just, you know, didn't really hit as much as hers did, so I kind of stopped that. I was reading the Miss Marple books from Agatha Christie. Those mysteries are really good, but you have to think with an Agatha Christie book, you know, because you're trying to solve a mystery. And the thing with reading her Miss Marple series, there's a whole lore, okay? I had to look up so many websites and threads on Reddit and posts and all these things to figure out the proper reading order for the Miss Marple series, because when Agatha Christie first introduced her character, it was actually in a short story collection. So there are a lot of short stories with Miss Marple. The first like 7 of them were all published together because it was like this group of people getting together, and they called it the Tuesday Night Club. And when they would get together, they would all bring up some kind of mystery that happened in their past, and then the other people are gonna try and guess the mystery, basically. So you should really kind of read them all together because it technically all happens in one night where they're all going over these mysteries. But I think because I read 2 Miss Marple books, I read The Body in the Library and Murder at the Vicarage. I don't know if I'm saying that correctly. And then I read the short stories where there were like 6 mysteries that they were all trying to figure out. It's like I read 8 mysteries back to back. and I think I overdid it. So the idea of reading another mystery just was too much for my brain. So I had to take a break from those, even though I was really liking the Miss Marple character. She's like this old lady who has lived in the same small town village her entire life. And the way that she's able to solve the mysteries is she's able to make connections to the people in her village. Like, oh, I remember when this person had a child out of wedlock. So then the child came back and did all these things. And oh, that's just like this case because blah, blah, blah. Like, that's literally all it is. She's not an expert. She's not a detective. She's just a nosy old lady from a small town. That's literally her secret. So those are definitely a good time, but I think I do have to start spacing them out because I think I read too many back to back. So there's that. That honestly catches you up with most of my reading so far. My best book from March was Indigo by Beverly Jenkins. Even my husband liked this book. I should have known because Books with Samantha talked about this book and she had her dad read it on her channel and he loved it. It is a historical romance, but it really focuses on the actual, like, accurate American history of it all. It's set around the Civil War, so there's a lot of talk of slavery, the Underground Railroad, things like that. I loved it. It was my 6-star read of the month from March. Like I said, I think that pretty much covers most of what I've been reading lately. I am done with my makeup now, so let me go look at my Goodreads, see if there are any other books that I think we should talk about, and I'll be right back. Okay, I figured we could just go through the reading journal. That's probably the best way to get caught up because I did already put my March books in here. So this was my March TBR. I did better than I thought. So we read Scythe and Sparrow, Let Them Theory, Twisted Love, Killer Instinct, Indigo, A Body in the Library, The Charlie Method, and part of the Black Rose Auction, which we already talked about that. I did not read Dating and Dismemberment, Brood with Love, or Immortal Follies. Those are the books that my husband and sibling-in-law picked for me if you missed my March TBR video. I did want to read Death Valley by Karina Halley, but I haven't read that yet. But it's a good thing because Katie and I actually decided to make this our book club pick for June. Not June. Oh my God. What am I saying? For May. For May. So that ended up working out. Now, okay, so here are all the books I read in the month of March. So as you can see, I read the Naturals series. Oh my God, I didn't even put my ratings in here. Y'all, I'm a mess. Okay, let's update these ratings together. I'm definitely not going to have time to write my reviews. But that is why I have them open like this, so I can write my review on the inside of the book. But for now, let's at least put my ratings. So I read the Naturals series, loved it, loved it, loved it. I especially loved the second book, Killer Instinct. We're just gonna do this messy. Don't judge me. And the last book, Bad Blood. Those were so good. I was on the edge of my seat the entire time. I loved all the plot twists, the characters, everything. Everything. Now the third book, All In, that one wasn't as good in my opinion. But I think it just mirrored a Criminal Minds episode, like, almost exactly. So I kind of already knew, like, what was going to happen. So I could just give that one a 4-star because it's still important to the overarching plot, but it wasn't as surprising. And there's also this little novella called 12 that you read at the end. And I think I gave that, I don't know, that's kind of like, it's giving me 3-star energy. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't anything, like, groundbreaking. It probably wasn't necessary, but it was cool to, like, see, you know, how they ended up after the last book ended. I do not have these in order when I read them, so I'm trying to, like, look at my Goodreads. So I technically read Wicked Pursuit first, and that was a 4-star. We kind of already talked about that. This was the first book in the Black Rose Auction by Katie Robert. I love this book. The other books didn't really compare, in my opinion, but this one was really good. Then I got into, this is when I read the Agatha Christie books. Yes, I remember. So Murder at the Vicarage and Body in the Library. Those are both, well, Body in the Library is definitely a 5-star. I rated Murder at the Vicarage 5 stars right after I read it. But upon further reflection, that might be a 4-star because the plot twist wasn't, like, as groundbreaking as the other. So we'll give that a 4-star. Then we read Indigo, which we already talked about. This was my 6-star read of the month. Beautiful. such an amazing love story, and I loved the historical accuracy, and I actually learned a lot about American history while reading this book, which I appreciated. Ooh, then I read Scythe and Sparrow, Bryn Weaver. It was so good, you guys. 5-star for sure. It definitely was a slower start than the other books, but by the end, I was obsessed. Ooh, My Darling Mayhem, another 5-star read. This was our book club pick, and Katie and I both gave this 5 stars. We loved it. Ashley Munoz can do no wrong, especially when she's doing a motorcycle club. And we did talk about Sunrise on the Reaping. That was also a 5-star. See, I really did have a good reading month. I did. Okay, The Charlie Method, I gave that 3. Honestly, I might even change that to a 2 because I already forgot like everything about this book. Yeah, I think I'm gonna change this to a 2 because I already forgot everything. This was a hockey romance from Elle Kennedy, and it was an MFM, but like I said, it was forgettable in my opinion. I read The Let Them Theory. The audiobook is really good. If you love a podcast, I think you're gonna like this book regardless, but Mel Robbins has a great podcast, so I was expecting good things from that. Great self-help nonfiction book if you are in the right headspace for it, I would say. And of course, Twisted Love is still a 5-star. So there's a very fast rapid fire March wrap up. That's as good as it's gonna get this month, okay? So this is where I put the reading order for Miss Marple. Like I said, I had to piece together so many different resources, so I decided to make a little spread in my journal for it, which I thought turned out really cute with the vintage vibes. I have this blank space to do my 6-star spread for Indigo. I'll put like an inspo pic here of what I envision it to look like, and that's why I have several pages saved for it, because I'm going to do like a cutout of an indigo flower here, and then I'll probably put like the title with like a pretty color. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Then I decided to do a quarter 1 wrap up. I haven't finished it yet, as you can see, because I have to pull all of the stats. But I wanted to do this at the end of every quarter to show like what my favorite book is so far. So this is from January through March. I'll put my shortest book, my longest book, how many books I read, a breakdown of the ratings that I had. So how many 5 stars did I have versus how many like 3 stars, 1 stars, whatever. I'm going to do a pie chart for the genre breakdown of all the books that I read. It's going to mostly be romance, but I feel like I had pretty good variety this year so far. So I like to see that. And then as well as format. Am I reading more physical, Kindle, or audiobooks? So that's kind of how I'm going to do those pie charts. I just have been too lazy to pull the stats, to be honest. Maybe if I feel like doing it later today, I'll show you a time lapse of me updating this more. But so far, that's the outline I have. I did already put the header pages for April. I did another like cutout situation with the rain clouds. And then for my TBR, I did an umbrella, and then each raindrop is one of the books I want to read this month. So I'll link my April TBR video so you could see the explanation of how these books were picked. It is already almost the end of the month. I have read a couple though. I did read, hold on, where's the crayon I set aside for this? I did read Wild and Wrangled. So good, you guys. I'm obsessed with Dusty and Cam. And then I read Ward D. That was the book club pick for me and Katie, which we have our book club. As I'm filming this on Tuesday the 22nd, our book club is this Thursday, so that's exciting. So yeah, because I've been in a slump, it's been really hard to read some of the books on here, but it's okay. We'll get to them eventually. I did not do a time lapse because I realized I needed my phone in order to do the stats and to make the charts and everything like that, because I had to use the StoryGraph app. But here's the finished product for my Q1 wrap up in the reading journal. So clearly we're a romance girly here at heart, but I did have some YA, fantasy, and mystery, and then one each of fiction, nonfiction, and historical. So we're starting to branch out a little bit, okay? Most of my romance was in January when I was trying to finish a lot of the series I was in the middle of, so I'm not too, critical of that. I am happy to report that I read a lot more physical books than I thought. I thought that this would be majority. I mean, there's still more Kindle than physical, but not by much. I read 19 Kindle books, 15 physical books, and 8 audiobooks. I think that's a pretty good mix, to be honest. And clearly, I know what books I like. We've got a lot of high ratings over here. Only 1 star and 1 2-star, if StoryGraph is telling me the truth. Now, I do have the tendency to change my rating afterwards, and I don't always go back on StoryGraph to change it. So take this with a grain of salt. But for the most part, I've had a pretty good reading year so far. My shortest book was Back in the Game by Megan Quinn, which is technically a novella, but whatever. That was 80 pages. We talked about Indigo being my favorite book already. The longest book I read was Iron Flame. That was 623 pages. And yeah, that adds up to the 42 books I read in the first 3 months of the year so far. Next, we're gonna revamp the TBR cart, because when you come out of a reading slump, you gotta make sure you have plenty of things on deck that you want to read. You know what I mean? And I haven't updated this since the beginning of the year, I feel like. So it's definitely time to give it a little revamp. Okay, where do we begin? I do have Wild Side up top because I am going to pick this up next. I did get to read Wild and Wrangled by Lila Sage, and I am obsessed with it. And I also got to read Reminders of Him by Colleen Hoover, and I really enjoyed that. So other than rereads, I'm pretty sure those are the only things I've read this month that I liked. So I figured I should keep with that same trend and go with like a small town kind of vibe. So I'm definitely going to pick up Wild Side next. So I'm going to see, like, is there anything else small town that I feel gravitated towards right now to kind of keep, riding this wave of small town or like cowboy. I do have Holding the Reins by Paisley Hope, and then I also have the second book to go with that, Training the Heart. So those can definitely stay on the cart. Most of the books that I have up top are things from previous TBRs or books that would help me with my series challenge, or it's like books with the series that I'm in the middle of right now. So I do kind of want to keep those on my radar. Maybe what I'll do is, like, the top shelf can be stuff I want to read now, so I'll put the small town stuff up there. The second shelf can be like series that I'm in the middle of, and the third shelf could be like new things, maybe. So for other small town, I have Story of My Life by Lucy Score. This is a new release. I have Strawberry Patch Pancake House from Lori Gilmore. This whole series is set in the same small town of Dream Harbor. The other ones are really, really cute, so that could work. I've got this by Beverly Jenkins, Second Time Sweeter. So this takes place in Kansas, and it's about 2 love stories in this small town kind of happening simultaneously. Let's see, small town. I've got this, Kit McBride Gets a Wife. This one is supposed to be like Marriage of Convenience, like arranged marriage. Oh, here we go, Mail Order Bride. That's what I was trying to think of, Mail Order Bride. This is supposed to be like rom-com set in Montana. So it's giving cowboy romance, so that could fit the vibe. I think the only other one, in terms of what I already have on the cart, oh, I do have stuff on the back I have to look at. Just kidding, but there's one more thing up front. We've got Savor It by Tara DeWitt. This is technically a summer romance, but it's kind of been on my radar. And I know this is small town. This is kind of like the small town vibe that I have in my head right now. And then I've got my regular romance bookshelves over here. So I'm just going to do a quick scan to see if there are any other small town romances hiding that I haven't put on my cart yet. Oh, well, this isn't technically, I don't know if it's small town or not, but this is another Colleen Hoover book that I've been kind of wanting to pick up since I did enjoy Reminders of Him a lot. I think this one is Student Teacher. So I did want to put this on my TBR cart because I really enjoyed Reminders of Him. So I think I think I'm ready to read other Colleen Hoover books now. I kind of want to take a break from her for a little bit because I read a couple that like really pissed me off. So I wanted to pick up one of those to see if Reminders of Him was just a fluke or if I'm back on the train. So that's an option. I'm gonna go ahead and pull this now. I don't know if it technically falls under the small town category, but I have been itching to read Binding 13 lately. So we're gonna go ahead and pull that out so I can put that somewhere on the cart. Okay, yeah, I'm not really seeing that many small town, but there are a couple that I might still want to read. This one kind of gives more like dark academia vibes. This is from Sierra Simone. Maybe maybe that could go on the other shelf. So not really in a series I'm in the middle of, but not really small town, but just like something else I could get into. This is the Thorn Chapel series. So I've been really into Sierra Simone this year. So I kind of want to put this on the shelf or on the cart. Here's another like wild card I want to throw on there. This is Cross the Line. This is an F1 romance, and for some reason I want to pick it up right now. Maybe it'll be a good like fun little palette cleanser in between things. I'm gonna throw Part of Your World. I really need to get on the Abby Jimenez train to either see if I want to stay on or hop off, because I've already bought like 3 of her books. So if I don't like her writing, I definitely need to know. So I need to make this a priority. I really do. Okay, I feel like that's definitely a good start. So let's figure out series I'm in the middle of. We've got the Miss Marple, so I'm going to keep those on there. I'm putting 2 books because I have the short story collection that I'm working through, as well as the next like novel. These were on the April TBR. I just don't think I'm going to get to them. I'm just going to be realistic. I don't think I can handle these right now. So we're going to put those to the side. I don't think those are going to be on the shelf. Black Dagger Brotherhood, this is the next book I need to read in that. Moral Follies is another one that was on my TBR a couple times, and I just haven't gotten to it. So we're just going to table that for now because I just don't feel drawn to it at this moment. Foxglove, I still need to read and finish that series. I don't know how this got on here. This is Dating and Dragons. This is a YA romance that I picked up recently. I just don't know if I'm in the mood for it right now. This is the Tessa Bailey series I'm in the middle of. I don't remember what it's called. Clarkson something, maybe? The Clarksons? I don't know. The Bromance Book Club series by Alyssa K. Adams, I still need to finish. This series by Ashley Herring Blake, I still haven't read this 3rd book. Tessa Bailey's other series I'm in the middle of is her Big Shot series. I haven't finished that. This Monica Murphy book. All these down here are not, oh, this is part of a series. This one by Sarah Rash. I'm not sure how to say her last name, but I read Nightmare Before Christmas, and this is book 2. So that needs to be up here. I know I've got the next Beverly Jenkins book after. So I don't think she has these as part of a series technically, like on Amazon, but when I was looking up the reading order for Beverly Jenkins, she does have other books that are connected. So I need to put, here, this is the one I want. Through the Storm is the next book about one of the side characters in Indigo. So I'm going to put that with the series to finish as well. Okay, I'm looking over here at my like mystery thriller / fantasy shelf to see if there's anything. Well, I technically need to read Onyx Storm. So I could put Onyx Storm up here. Am I really going to read that? Probably not. I technically still need to read Shatter Me. I read book 1 last year, maybe the year before. Technically, I need to catch up on this series by Carly Fortune because the other one is coming out soon, right? One Golden Summer, I think, is already about to come out. And I haven't even read this one. This is the new, like, republished versions. I do want to reread these this year, but technically I don't want to put this up with this series. I guess I could put that down below. So I think I just barely have enough room for all these books, you guys. Maybe. Ooh, it's cutting it close. I don't want to like jam them in there, you know? I'm not going to put the Hunger Games book on there because I know that's going to be like the next thing I pick up. So I'll probably read this before it's even time to do my TBR video for May. So I think I'll just put this to the side because I don't want to jam these books any more than they already are. All right, I've got a bunch of historicals just chilling back here. I don't know why. We're going to put those off to the side. What else do I have back here? I bought some banned books recently because I do want to make reading those a priority, but again, I don't know if I'm in the right headspace for that right now. Okay, more banned books. I got Tilt by Ellen Hopkins, Brave New World. This is a mystery that's supposed to be kind of inspired by Agatha Christie. This is The Christie Affair. Psychological suspense. I mean, this is a maybe. It's a maybe. We'll keep it down there. Oh, I'm about to have a book avalanche back there. Say a prayer. Okay. I need to put like the sturdy books on the ends because then they won't keep tilting. Okay, so these are like all the series in the middle of. I realized I was supposed to put these in the second shelf. Let me take all these off. This is so daunting. First world problems. Okay, that's better. Part of my goal for the year was to just kind of enjoy the books I'm reading and just kind of sit with them instead of like continuing to move on to the next thing. Like if I'm enjoying Colleen Hoover, I'm just gonna read Colleen Hoover books. If I'm enjoying Beverly Jenkins, I'm just gonna read more of her books. That's how I used to read. I used to just like find a book I liked and then I would just binge that author's backlist. So I kind of miss that. I picked up a couple things. None of them are small town, but I did recently pick up a copy of Legend by Mary Lou. This gives like dystopian sci-fi kind of similar to Hunger Games. So since I'm kind of enjoying that right now, I'm just gonna put it on this top shelf because, you know, just in case I want to keep writing that kind of genre out, I have the option there. So that rounds out the top shelf. That kind of matches what I'm in the mood for currently. Like small town, but also like emotional, some fluffy, some not, and a random sci-fi. I know it doesn't make sense, but it makes sense to me, okay? It's been matching the stuff I'm reading lately. Then we've got series in the middle of. Okay, now here's some things I picked up from my mystery thriller slash like fantasy shelf. This is a YA mystery. There's a lot going on. You've got like roaring 20s vibes. There's obviously some kind of mystery because she's killing people, but she's also a mind reader, and then he is a shapeshifter. I don't really know. It sounds interesting. We're just gonna stick it on here. Then I picked up All the Dangerous Things by Stacey Willingham. Katie and I read her book A Flicker in the Dark for book club last year, and it was pretty good. If I'm in the mood for a thriller, I think this could be a good option. And then as if I need to start a new series right now, because I really don't, but I've been seeing a lot of people talking about this series again by Lauren Roberts, Powerless. And this could be another one. Like, I've heard it gives similar energy to Hunger Games, so this could also fall under the same category as Legend, where if I'm in the mood to keep reading something similar to Hunger Games, this might be able to fit that bill. We're gonna stick these that we already talked about earlier, The Ruthless Creatures, A Lesson in Thorns, and the Speakeasy Duet. I'm gonna stick these on the bottom shelf because these all sound really good to me right now. You know, just in case I'm in the mood for something a little bit on the darker side, we'll see. All right, now these, I have like a stack of maybes down here. Most of them you've already seen. I did throw a Taylor Jenkins Reid because you can never go wrong with a Taylor Jenkins Reid book in my opinion. And I've got Five Brothers by Penelope Douglas that I still haven't read, so that could be a wild card to throw on there. Okay, I am going to, I actually do have room on this bottom shelf that we were just talking about, so I'm gonna stick Legend down there because it doesn't really fit the vibe of the top shelf, and we're just gonna stick Out of the Woods next to Out on a Limb. Okay, so we've got this small town-ish shelf up top. We've got series I'm in the middle of on the second shelf, and then this bottom shelf is more like miscellaneous. What a hodgepodge. We gotta have variety over here. And now I have to put this mess away, so wish me luck. I'm officially running out of space. So one of the videos coming up is probably going to be a bookshelf reorganization. I'm literally just like sticking things where they don't belong, and that's going to drive me crazy. And then my historicals are supposed to fit up here, and there's no more room. Help. I just had to stick them down there. Yep. Too many books. Meanwhile, this guy is sleeping on the job. It's hard to find good help these days. But speaking of TBR plans, I I need to refresh this jar. I have exactly, I thought it was 8, but I think there's actually 7 prompts in here to do my May TBR. But after that, this baby's gonna be empty. And I was thinking of just refilling it with similar prompts, but I actually had an idea where I think instead of putting prompts in the jar, I'm gonna put like TBR, I don't know what to call it, like themes or directions in there instead. Let me give you an idea of what I had in mind. So I started a note in my phone with TBR video ideas. So I figured instead of just picking different prompts, it'll be like one prompt controls my whole month of reading. So for example, one of the slips of paper that I could put in the jar would say rainbow. And that would mean that my goal for the month is to read a book from every color of the rainbow. Or I could do just like, there will be one that says no romance, or only fantasy, or only reading 5-star predictions, that kind of thing. To where that one slip of paper that I draw from the jar controls my whole month of reading. Does that make sense? Like some other things I have are like banned books. I could do a scavenger hunt where every book I pick in the scavenger hunt has to be on the TBR. AI picks my books, rereads only reading books outside my comfort zone. Yeah, just little things like that. So I think that might be what I do for the rest of the year, just so that way I'm still using the jar, because I do like the idea, but I want to mix it up a little bit. So no more slumps in 2025. That is the goal. So hopefully this will be a good way to mix it up. Give me some variety while also not like overwhelming myself with too many books that I feel like I have to read, if that makes sense. Or I could just be a month where all I do is read new releases. Or I could pick a month where I'm only allowed to read backlist books. Things like that. So if you think of any challenges like that that could control my reading for a month, then leave them in the comments down below so that I have more ideas to add to the jar for the rest of the year. And yeah, if you have any other video requests, I'll definitely do a May TBR for sure. I don't know if I should still do an April wrap up. I still haven't decided, because I did kind of already tell you most of the books that I read this month already. So we'll see. I may still do it because there are people who probably won't want to watch the vlog, but will at least want to see what I read. So we'll see. May TBR, April wrap up. I will do a bookshelf reorganization video in the month of May. And I also want to do a 24-hour reading vlog on Memorial Day weekend, since I'll have the long weekend, a day off of work. I think that'll be a good opportunity to do another vlog. But yeah, if you have any other ideas, feel free to let me know so we can keep it spicy over here. Give this video a like. Thank you guys for joining me. I'm glad we got to spend the day together, just yap and catch up. And be sure to subscribe so you can see what I get into. And I'll see you next time. Bye.